No, bro. So you like the idea of the videos? Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great idea. Fucking, it really shows you how far they've come. Like particularly when people watch me in particular, like they focus on the negative shit that I say, and I think a lot of people focus on the negatives. I kind of think so. I try and I try and be completely honest. Like I try and, I don't just talk about the negative, I talk about the positives too. This really puts into perspective a lot of the positives of what they've been working on. Like everybody's been working on, because they really have come a long way. It's easy to lose sight of how much they've been working on these games just by focusing on what they haven't done, and it's nice to see what they have done, at least graphically speaking.
Yeah, like you know what made me kind of want to throw those videos out there? Cause like I was talking with a buddy and I was like, yo, my mom swears to God, she's like, yo, Windu, you're getting skinnier. And I'm like, girl, what do you mean? I'm pretty sure I'm chunkier. What are you talking about? And then, my mom was just like, oh, well, since I don't see you every day, that's how I see the difference. Like, I'm judging based off of what I saw like 2 months ago. Yes, I haven't seen my mother in 2 months. That's a different conversation. But it's like, yo, like you really can tell the differences when you don't see it after a while, or at least your perspective changes like so. So I was like, yo, like I'm pretty sure I got some old ass footage from like all these games somewhere in here. So I was like, let me just throw that up on the screen. And I was like let's talk about like Overprime, right?
Oh yeah.
Like low key, I don't know if you remember, but back in the Overthrow days, it was basically the same map layout. Cause I was mind blown. I was like, for like almost 2.5 years, they've had the exact same mini map layout. Like holy shit. But before it was like it looked like a mix between Legacy and Monolith, and now you can see like that Legacy map now looks like Legacy. You feel me?
Yeah.
And like I don't know, man, like whenever I look at it, I also put the time in there because I want people to also look at the time difference, like how much can happen in like a year. You know what I mean? And then like, for example, in Overprime's case, 2 years, they can actually take that into consideration, because a lot of people might be like, yo, Overprime is the bomb. Like it looks way better. It has way more content, but also putting into perspective that specific project has been technically worked on for a lot longer.
Yeah.
Also, now I gotta ask you, which one did you see the most changes in, graphically at least?
Well, I mean, that's a weird thing to talk about. Yeah, I think graphically the most changes I've seen were from Overprime. However, I gotta say, they had the most to change. Like,
that's true. That's true. That was a rough map.
When you look at those comparisons, like I think in the end, I think Predecessor looks the best, but there's the least amount of changes from like a year ago to now with Predecessor, because they started with a really nice base and they didn't have that much to improve. Overprime had a fuck ton to improve. Like Overthrow, God, I did not like Overthrow, and then the first iterations of Overprime, but they've really improved it a lot. I'm not trying to say that Overprime sucks, because like I said, they've done a lot with it, and it's not just graphically that Overprime's big thing is, doing multiple maps, a huge hero roster. So
that's a tall order. Like when you have multiple maps and like all those heroes, because again, like my general philosophy has always been, Predecessor started with quality, not quantity. Overprime started with quantity, not quality. And then Fault did their best to throw 50-50 into the mix. Like that's how I've seen everything. And then in the past, I don't know, like 3 months or whatever, we've probably seen a shift. Like we still see Fault trying to do the 50-50. But now we see Overprime fucking 180 that shit. And now they're like, hey, we're going to ramp up the quality as much as possible, which they've honestly done. Like it looks way better. Animations look cleaner. Like they've done a great job. And then you saw Predecessor. They're like, hey, well, you know what? We got good quality. Let's ramp up the quantity. Let's add all these crazy items. Let's start adding character. Let's add our own skin in there, which you can definitely tell that, like, for example, like their last alpha that they had, which was right around July, you could definitely tell that they added all those, they started adding a lot in there for people to be able to play and, to kind of show their potential on that side. But like we said, graphically, they didn't necessarily improve much. They still improved, right? But like my general consensus on improvement on quality for Predecessor would be they went from 720p to 1080p. You get me? Like everything looks a little bit finer, it looks a little bit better, but you can tell that wasn't their sole focus. Right. So I'm super interested also for like this new year, because like Predecessor said they're gonna come out with a new map. Fault said they're gonna come out with a new map. Like both Predecessor and Fault said that they're gonna come out with the new items within the next year. You get me? Predecessor said that their art that they've had for the past year is a placeholder art. That's not the art that they're gonna keep. Even though I was kind of digging it, that whole like cartoonish sort of vibe. You know what I mean? I was kind of digging it, but they're like, yo, that's not what we want. So I really think that this year they're gonna change a lot, but I don't want to be quoted on this, but I'm pretty sure this is a console push type of year from all these projects.
Maybe. I mean, it could be. Fault is definitely in that position.
I mean, let's be real. Overprime is too. Because
Overprime is too. Overprime needs to come to Steam first.
That's what I'm saying. But as soon as they come to Steam, which would be the equivalent of Fault coming to Steam for free, like early, fully released, I think they might actually be running neck and neck. Predecessor's only behind because they had that year delay because they had to start again. You know what I mean?
And one thing we need to take into account with Predecessor too is they haven't done any updates in months, and the reason is, and that's not a bad thing. The reason is they're going back to the drawing table and improving everything that they have right now. So their original intention was to completely shut down Overprime and just in the meantime just work on it. They decided people were complaining that they
Predecessor or Overprime.
Overprime.
Oh, okay. You said Predecessor in the beginning. Yeah.
Oh, right, my bad.
No, you're good. So the Overprime, you're talking about like how they're shutting down to ramp up, like.
Yeah, they shut down several months ago and it stopped doing updates. But then they reopened the servers. They're letting people play the game right now. They're just not updating it. So, correct. Like what you see now isn't really indicative of what we're going to see when they come to Steam. So I think that's very exciting for them because, like I said, they've improved quite a bit. If they can improve that even more, that would be fantastic. And that's the biggest limiting factor I think for Overprime is the download process and the installation process. True. If it comes to Steam and you could it's going to be just like a normal game, install it from Steam, people are going to be all over Overprime.
I think free to play in general and then easy access like on Steam for all of these is going to be huge. Cause like one example that I give everybody too is whether they're talking about Predecessor, they're talking about Fault. Like Fault is a great example because Fault, when it was in early access alpha weekends and stuff like that, like people would legit be like, yo, this game's awesome so much, oh my god. But then once you start getting to play every single day, you start noticing some flaws. Yeah, that's the same type of shit in a relationship, bro. You met the girl, it was a hot ass weekend, like, yeah, let's go, it was lit, I can't wait. You just spent 6 months living with her and you're like, get her out. like you get me? Like it's bound to happen. And I really want to see what people think of Overprime when it's on Steam. Because now the majority of the population will be playing and not just the few that dare and download, you know what I mean? And then I also want to see what people think about Predecessor when they're playing it on a regular basis, as opposed to just for the weekend. Because I've seen, Predecessor deserves all the praise in the world, but I've seen so many white knights from each individual category, from this one over here, that one over there. Oh, this one's better, this one looks better, this one's gonna take it all the way. Yo, this game's done for, it's a dead game. Bro, oh my god, let me tell you, like the fact that too many people are like just going based off of too many decisions too early is borderline funny, and like I'm about to get an aneurysm because of it, to be honest, bro. This shit's fucking crazy. It's unreal.
I think the majority of people though are even keeled just like we are though. Like it's the loud ones that you see and you remember. And it's the loud ones that that it's for every person that's fucking talking like that, like the extremist view of the Paragon remake.
Like another 100.
There's like another 10 or 20 or
Yeah.
So that needs to be taken into consideration.
That is a very good point. Even though, hey, you loud motherfuckers out there, y'all are loud as shit. Y'all need to chill.
I'm not even gonna fucking lie. I'm gonna go off a little bit. The worst out of all of them, I try and talk the game up. I try and promote it. I try and do whatever I can for it because I believe it's a great project, which is Overprime. But their fans, if I don't suck that Soul Eve dick and talk about that Overprime's the greatest game that ever was or ever will be,
bro,
they come at you and like, you forgot to mention this. You didn't say this. You've got this. It's like, or I think you're getting paid off by Faults to torpedo Overprime. Like, no, dude, it's just not as good as you think it is.
Oh my god, bro. Yo, like, did I show you my Christmas hater? My Grinch?
Yeah. Bro, I saw that. I was like,
get out of here, bro. Somebody actually came to my channel and they're like, whoa. Like, it was an update on all the games. And he's like, what a false advertisement ad disguised as an update video. Why don't you just go work for it? I was like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Who the hell do you think you're talking to? Telling me I'm not about the people. I'm not trying to do honest reviews and shit. Like, get the fuck out of here. Just because I don't like the game the same way you do. Or here's the thing. I don't know about you, Mangoose, but I would like currently the stage that Overprime got to right around the same time as Fault Early Access. I honestly thought it was much more playable and I would have played much more of it. It's just unfortunate. I do my content creation and my gaming from 12 p.m. Eastern to about like 6-ish. Sometimes we go a little bit later. Bruh, it is impossible to find an NA match in Overprime during those times. I'm talking about, I even try to use my influence. I'm like, all my viewers, my followers, like, yo, we're gonna play Overprime. Let's go, download link here. The majority of my stream was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna wait till it's out on Steam. I'll just watch you.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, that's
shady.
I think that's the common
man
consensus is we're just gonna wait till it's on Steam.
Yeah, bro, like
that's what seems that everybody wants to do. Well, I tried to download it recently for a video.
Did you?
And I completely uninstalled it, and I was going to reinstall it. And it took me to some Mega Z download thing, and the download was so large that this third-party downloader was asking me to pay to download that much information.
Get out.
I was like, nah. So that's one of the reasons. Like, I tried to download it twice. The first time it was going to take over 24 hours to complete the download, and my internet's not bad. Like, I download other games that are much larger, much faster than that. And then
you don't have that cell phone internet anymore?
And no, I'm not on cell phone internet anymore.
Let's go.
But then it was like prompting me to pay, and I'm like, no, I don't think so, buddy. So yeah, once it comes to Steam, Overprime's gonna really take off and be a real competitor. Until then, they're just kind of in the background. They have their cult-like fan base that'll keep them going, but until they can come on Steam, they're going to be a little in the background, I think.
So you know what might have actually helped you out though? Because here's the thing, I had issues downloading like that. Like, I was like, yo, I can't download the game. I thought I was supposed to. And I DM Rocket, like I still DM Rocket on like almost feels like a weekly or bi-weekly basis. Because ever since the Overthrow days, he calls me Spaceman. So we just, we kind of chill. We turn into friends. Like, we talk, we chat, drink and shit. But so I was taught, like, whenever I downloaded in July, I was like, yo, I can't get this game to fucking download. Like, I'm actually just trying to download and play it. I can't get it to download at all. And then he was like, oh no, like you have to, download each individual file from the website. You can't download the entire full thing. Sometimes it won't let you, sometimes it will. But if you download each individual file and then run each, I was like,
yeah, I did that process too.
Like, I'm just like, I definitely get it, like the whole coming to Steam thing and everything. But I gotta say, man, like, I'm pretty sure they would have been able to create some Windows 98. Just click on this button, launch the installer, and bam,
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure. Like, I'll be real with you, Brad. Like, I've gotten some janky ass games when I was younger, and back in like Windows 98 and shit, where it's literally just like install, next, finish. Oh, it's install. Like, why are they doing all that? Like, yo,
I don't know, man. There's another game I play called Revan Blade that it's been worked on by 4 people, like 2 brothers, their dad, and their friend.
That's clutch.
And they have their own like installer and patcher and everything. So like, if they could do it, like, why can't this solely with all the people that they have? Why can't they make their own installer, their own launcher?
I think it just
I don't get it.
Priority. Like, I don't think there's another excuse except priority, because I don't think I don't doubt the capability of any of these companies for whatever the goal they're trying to aspire. Like, we could talk about false updates history. We could talk about predecessors going from we show you what we're doing every single day to you haven't fucking seen us in 5 months. You know what I mean? Like regardless of what approach they're doing, what they're focusing on, I think one of the dangerous parts of having all these, like, I'm a huge believer that all these projects are going to push each other towards greatness, right? Like, all these projects are definitely going to be better for us as consumers in the long run, like having all these. But I definitely think that the fact that these projects are out there it's almost influencing a little bit too much, I think, what the other project is doing. Because I feel like they're starting to get to a point where they feel like they're in competition. And they're like, so, I mean, we're going to do a new map. Or they put new items, we're going to put new items. Or the other doing this, well, we're going to add this character now. And it's just like I get it. But I kind of just wish these projects would just kind of sit there and be like, you know what? Fuck those other companies. We're going to do our own thing, our way, our speed, our style. Takes us an extra 3 months. We do it 2 months faster. Don't give a fuck. You're going to see what we can do.
Yeah.
None of this whole, hey, we're all trying to be teacher's pet. But, I raised my hand first. But, but I was sitting in the front. I should be able to answer a question. It's like, but I was here to class first. What do you mean? Like, fuck me, bro. Like, just build the game. Like,
they do that with PlayStation announcements. That's what.
Oh my God, yes, bro! Like
that's
the whole developer
right
kit
there
for PlayStation. Like, get the fuck out of here! Oh my God!
A lot of people dinged me on my last video for saying, they're like, "Oh, you didn't mention that this company or this company is developing for PlayStation." I said it right off the top. Like, until I see concrete evidence that they are developing for PlayStation, I'm not going to say shit, because I don't want to get anybody's hopes up. Because I want it to come. I want it to come to PlayStation as much as any. Well, I wouldn't say as much as anybody, because I don't have a PlayStation. But
yeah,
I got homies I played with back in the day that I would love to play with again. Ooh. And they were PlayStation only, and so
many people have got a PC for these games. That's how much they really like these games. But I mean, like, I'm with you. Like, I'll still answer the question when it comes up, right? But like 9 times out of 10, like, I think the last time I even mentioned the word PlayStation on my fucking videos was like back in like September. Whenever I was just kind of like addressing like, yo, the sad truth. And that's literally what the thumbnail said. The sad truth about EA and PlayStation. Just to kind of break it down, like, hey, y'all need to chill the fuck out. PlayStation's gonna come eventually. That's basically what the whole video was about. But I don't know, man. Like, for me, like, I really think 2021 is going to be a PlayStation push year, and not necessarily that they're going to go to PlayStation, but I really think specifically the second half of the year, these motherfuckers are going to be mentioning PlayStation left and right. Like, oh, we just started porting towards PlayStation. We're on a progress towards PlayStation. PlayStation Alpha, maybe at the end of this year, maybe the beginning of next year. Like, oh my fuck, I can only imagine. The comments that we're going to answer, the repetitiveness that it's going to come down to. It's part of the job. I understand it. But I'm like, oh my God, I can totally see it. 2021 is going to be a PlayStation push year. Yeah. Because
we just make sure everybody, if they announce anything PlayStation wise, look into it. Like, look into it. Look at the source. True. Don't just trust what they're telling you. I mean, this was kind of pioneered by Metabuff back in the day when they put that blue screen of accepting the PlayStation end user agreement.
Everybody,
people lost their fucking minds. Like, that went to everybody throwing all their support behind Core. And the whole time I'm like, guys, that's basically just agreeing to the the terms and agreement, you know? Like, that's nothing. That is absolutely nothing. And
can we talk about him for a sec too?
Ugh, go ahead.
Yeah, can we talk about that? Like this huge mega, oh, let's go, PlayStation. Or okay, I'm gonna be honest. That initial trailer with like that song, yo, that shit was fire. I played that trailer on loop while I was at Geico selling calls. Like, I'd be selling to people, be like, oh no, yeah, because your insurance, blah blah blah, and in the background, like low key, that shit was fire. But can we just point out that the biggest barkers, the ones that were barking loudest, are not even making a Paragon game anymore?
Yeah.
Can we just address that? Talk about it? Like the rise, the collapse, and then the rise again of Core. It's interesting to see. Like, I don't want to BM him or anything. I still support him and all that. Like, keep doing what you're doing. Like, once we get some access, progress games, etc., I'm gonna report on that. I'm sure you will too. But it's just, I feel like Core was a big eye opener for everybody. That it's like, hey, don't forget, these are still indie companies. Don't forget. Yeah. That doesn't mean they'll make it. Don't forget. It's very possible for somebody to just fuck up. Cause I don't want to talk bad about them, but that's low key what we witnessed. You know what I mean? Yeah. They just slipped off the train and were never able to get back on. That's basically what came down,
It was a good lesson in that words mean nothing without the actions to back them up.
True.
They had a lot of things to say, and a lot of hype and a lot of announcements, and it went nowhere. A lot of people bought their merch. I mean, maybe
those shirts, their
new iteration will be worth it. Maybe
who knows? Yeah,
Metabuff merch will be worth something one day, but for now, it's not that much. They have a lot of good people working for them. I think they could make a great game if they put their heads to it. Like the Kalari demo thing that they had, that was a lot of fun, even though it wasn't really gameplay. But it just really shows that just because somebody says, "Hey, we're going to develop for PlayStation," guess what? They all have announced intentions of developing for PlayStation. Until we see something concrete, don't get your hopes up too much.
You know what I've noticed too? Like specifically in the Metabuff thing. Shout out to the homie Sylphin, fellow content creator, like right there with us and shit. This man, like, all right, let me just say, this man's radio voice is unparalleled, but that's a different fucking subject. But as far as it, like in my eyes, I was like, Sylphin's with another team now? I was like, what? Like, I honestly don't think Metabuff realized how hard losing a figure like that was gonna hurt him. Because low-key, there was a lot of credibility that came with that one dude.
Yeah.
There was a ton, it was a lot.
The specific type of content creator he was, too. I mean, he still is a content creator.
I would say still is, yeah, because he still does that type of content, just a lot less because he's busy.
But I mean, he was highly respected for very informative, factual content. So his involvement with a project really lent them a lot of credibility. And he took that credibility over to Fall.
Same thing with Ace in Predecessor.
Yeah,
that was a huge fucking flex Predecessor did early, and that was smart. They say, hey man, this guy knows his stuff. And like, it's to the point where, hey, this man not only knows MOBAs, he's so well experienced and well versed. As far as game design and everything, he's gonna have huge input. He knows all the stats. He was another one that was kind of up there, well respected and well informed. And they were like, low key, we gotta snatch him since Metabuff snatched Sylphin. Not saying that he was second, but that was it definitely looked like a retaliation sort of move. And it's like, hey, you know what? That's a smart idea. That's a very, very smart idea. Grab a community figure that knows what they're doing, have them be influential. So it's almost like a PR move, but simultaneously, it's a huge asset for the company, that individual. Right. And
well, I mean, Ace actually looked around. He interviewed with a couple of the different programs.
Did he really? I didn't know that.
He did, but
I thought he got recruited.
Felt the Predecessor had he liked Predecessor. He liked Smokey's vision, I guess, more than anybody else's, and liked what they were doing and what they had going for them. So he ended up throwing his hat in with I can't even think. Meta Studios.
Yeah. You know what? You just touched on a little subject there. Can we just talk about the fact that, like, vision from the captain? Let's just say that, like, the captain, right? Like the analogy that, because every time somebody's like, yo, why don't all these companies just combine together? And I'm like, because, man, think Pirates of the Caribbean style. You got 3 crews, 3 captains. It's not gonna work. Some crew members are just they rather jump ship. Some crew members are gonna stay, but regardless, the ship can only have 1 captain.
Right.
That's the way that it goes. And each captain is going to want to sail in a different direction. That's the way it goes. Can I just say that out of all of these companies, I'm actually, like, I got to give them props and give Smokey props for being there on the line of fire and saying, hey, I'm the captain. Because let me ask you, who's the captain of Fault? Mangoes?
I have no idea. I thought it was going to be Omninaut, but I don't think he's even with.
Yo, he disappeared
anymore.
I have not. Like, I think he's still around, but he disappeared, bro. I thought he was the captain, but I'm like, oh, I don't know. And now, who's the captain of Overprime?
I would say.
Don't say Rocket. Rocket's the Queen of England, bro.
See, that's what I was going to say was Rocket, but like,
he's not the main guy making the choices. He's just the guy that they recruited,
that they picked up.
He's almost like an ace or like a Sylphin to them. Which is smart. Again, good PR move. It's still a valuable asset, etc. But who's the captain? Who's the shot caller over there? Who's responsible for those decisions?
No idea.
You feel me? Smokey's just out there like, it's me. You got an issue? Like, it's a team effort, but at the end of the day, Smokey's the leader. You feel
it's
me?
The same way with a lot of the games I track too. Like if you ask anybody, hey, who's in charge of Ethereal? They'll say Owen. Like everybody knows that it's Owen and Kai. And if you ask anybody Project Stamina, who's in charge over there? They'll tell you that it's Fancy Pants or Cademon is what his real name is. Like they have actual leadership that's willing to, say yes or no.
Yeah, like there should be a hierarchy. You feel me? There should be a chain of command. Like regardless, somebody reports to somebody that reports to the person on top of them. And then this is the final decision if it comes down to it. I'm all down for, hey, you know what? We're an equal, like if this is the case, like we're an equal team, we're partners, we discuss stuff together. That's awesome for running a business. You feel me? Like you can have several partners and everything, sure. But the last say definitely does come to somebody. Now, I totally get if they have for example, the last say in the game design is this person. The last say in the, animations is this person. I get that. But I still think there needs to be a head to the ship. There still needs to be a head. And I think that's a huge missed marketing opportunity. I feel like that's a huge missed PR opportunity in general for the company to say, hey, we have leadership. You get me? Like it's different to say we have a team. You feel me? Like hell, the best soccer team in the world has a team. They work together. They have their positions. Like you got the defense, the centers, the frontliners and everything. And then you're going to have the point that they're still like, but we have a team captain.
Right.
We have somebody that says, this is the call. So, hey, focus over here, focus over there. I need you to cut that shit out and do this. There's still leadership in every successful chain of command. You follow? And I'm not saying that there isn't in these other companies, but I'm saying it's not clear. Like, you get me?
Yeah, it's not
like,
clear to the community at all.
Like, for example, us as content creators and our kind of like interviewish format that we do, you know what I mean? Or our questionnaires, since we love asking these motherfuckers questions, you know what I mean? Like, we love just sitting there and be like, when's that coming? You got something for me? Or be like, hey, I'm gonna make a video. You got like a juicy clip for me or something like that I can use? Like, you know how we're always like, hey, help us out. Now, I get that community managers are there to interact with the community and everything, but I still feel like a face is important. Like, I still gotta give Smokey the credit that he's not afraid to literally just jump in our voice chats, chat with us for an hour, do what he needs to do for the PR side, because that's what it is. You get me? He's doing that to show face, to be the leader, provide information, answer all the questions. Like, this man during the Predecessor Alpha was legit on a 72-hour PR. I'm just going everywhere, talking to people. I'll answer any questions you got. Let me stop by this streamer. Hey, you want me to hop on voice chat for you? He stayed there for an hour, chatted with them, played with them. Like, that man, let me tell you, the leadership that I've seen out of him is mind-blowing. And I mean leadership by, delegating, directing, participating, the different branches of leadership. I got to give it to him. I can't necessarily, I can't say that I've seen that from other companies like that.
It always came across as genuine too, and I think it was genuine a lot. I mean, I think there was a PR aspect to it, but he really does like to get out there within the community and just talk to people. Man, so
don't sleep on it. Smokey's a pretty boy streamer, low key. Like, don't sleep on it. Like, Smokey legit. Like, you look at Smokey, you can definitely tell that while he streams and he's working, he's passionate, he's answering questions. That man loves to stream. You can tell when you look at somebody that they love streaming. You know what I mean? Like, some people just aren't comfortable streaming. Some people are more comfortable on the video side. Some people are just, some people are more comfortable like, hey, you know what? I'm just gonna, like, I'll participate, but I'd rather not be on camera and this and that. Bro, Smokey has a green screen. Let's throw that out there. You don't have a green screen unless you're trying to be the biggest thing on the screen without blocking shit. I know from experience. Smokey's a pretty boy streamer with all the respect in the world. Like, he loves it. He loves it. And I think that's part of the reason why those Twitch streams were honestly that much more successful. They can see his enjoyment. They can see a leader not only providing information, they can see him interacting with the community, grabbing feedback. Like, when let's go back to the days where he was working on Murdock, just working on his kids. Like, well, maybe we should do this. Maybe it should push this much. Like, actively working on his kit live. The community was giving feedback. Like, oh, you guys think it should be a little bit more like this? Let's go look at this video. Let's see what that looked like. That sort of creation was marketing gold for them. Like, that right there, it was genius. And he enjoyed doing it too. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, for example, I'm glad that Vault decided I am now, they're gonna start doing these dev streams again with Ryan and Sofin. I think that's huge. That's huge, that the fact that they see developers, members there interacting with the community, answering questions, showing some gameplay, whether it be a hero reveal, whether it be a patch update that they're doing. I like that they're doing that. My only issue is when you look at both of those guys, you could probably still say they still have a boss and we have no idea who it is.
Yeah.
You feel me?
I think it's important to note too, when Smokey was working with stuff like that, he wasn't afraid to shoot ideas down. He was like, no, we're just not going to do that. And that's what you need. You need, like we were talking about with a vision, there needs to be a vision there for somebody to say, no, that's not going to work, or yes, we can do that. Yes, they could be willing to compromise, but they need to make those decisions. Like, the greatest plan ever will not work if people think that they also have the greatest plan or doing that. If your team is doing all kinds of different things and not working towards a common goal, it's not going to work. However, even the worst fucking plan will work if everybody just sticks to it long enough. If you got somebody just stick to that plan and keep driving forward, it will eventually work. I'm not saying that any of these guys have bad plans. I think they have good plans, and that's even better. But
no, but I get you. The whole even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah,
there you go. Hello, you're not wrong. Like, honestly, they might, like, a team might not even have the best direction, but eventually they're going to do something right.
They need to have some kind of direction to keep them going, yeah.
But it's definitely better to have a compass that isn't broken instead of a compass that is low-key. Because, a compass that isn't broken, spinning a circle, you're going to point north eventually, I promise. But it does, I get what you're saying. I don't know, man. Like, I'd honestly say I probably give that as like some huge feedback for them if they're watching these videos, you know? Like, give them that feedback, like, hey, like, low-key, I definitely feel like the community not only wants to, but I feel like they need to see that leadership figure, like an address leadership figure. Like, hell, even if you want to pull some Queen of England type shit, even if you want to say, hey, that is the face of this game. Like, so let me ask you, who's the face of Fall?
Ryan Red, I would say, would be the face of Fault if you had to press me.
If you ever had to press, you'd say Ryan. Okay. Now, the face of Predecessor.
Oh, we know that's Smokey.
The face of Overprime.
I would have to say Rocket Mania.
So here's the thing: if people identify those individuals as the face of a game, they need to see that face more often. Yeah. And it really is one of those, or at least interact with that face of the game more often. Like, you feel me? Mm-hmm. Like, you don't just have a Queen of England and keep her locked in the bedroom all year round. Like, you feel me? You don't just
come out and wave at the masses.
Yeah. But even then, you don't come out and wave once a month. There's still, like, there's dinners that you attend, festivities that you go. Like, there is a sort of PR not liability. There's a certain PR responsibility that comes with being that face. You follow?
Yeah.
And I definitely think that is not only just a missed opportunity for some companies, but I definitely think that's something that they need to hit home a little bit harder, because the community does notice these little things. Like, hey, for example, like I told Ryan this a while ago. I was like, low key, I told him the same thing. You're the face. You're low-key the face of Fault. And he was like, what? And I was like, bro, think about it. Who do people go to for answers? The community manager. Like, everybody else is hiding behind you. No disrespect to the Strange Matters team, but they're hiding behind Sylphin and Ryan. They don't want to show up on camera. They don't want to interact with the community in that specific way. They're like, hey, Ryan and Sylphin, handle it for us.
I don't think they need to show up on camera, though. They just need to be there and be known. It needs to be known that this person is the leader, the director, whatever, of this company. And, maybe
do that on the
Ryan
website.
and Sylphin refer to them a little bit, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like they could easily, like, how a lot of websites have, like, this is our team. And then you see, like, team leader, second in command, or in charge of this, in charge of that. Like, just have a roster, so to speak. And then I get what you're saying. Then have a Queen of England. You feel me?
Yeah. Look with Metabuff. They used to have their director. I forget his name, but they had a director. You hardly ever saw him, but you knew he was there. So when he would, like, pop into Discord every once in a while, it was like a big deal. Like, it was like, oh, holy shit.
Oh, the big dog is here. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask a question, or let me calm down. Let me not act the fool for a minute. I don't want to get kicked out of here because he's like, who the fuck is this guy? But I don't know, man. Like, damn, we're almost getting to 40 minutes. We could probably wrap up. All right. We could probably wrap up here soon. But yeah, man. Honestly, like, I really think that these games are heading in a good direction. I really think that I don't say this often. I'm a little reluctant that a lot of, like, content creators have been like, 2017 is the year for Paragon to come back. 2018 is the year. 2019 is 2020. I'm like, all right, like, I get it, but I really do think 2021 is going to be the official, hey, full release of a lot of these games. Because here's the thing, Predecessor's quiet. We don't know too much. You feel me? Like, we might get to test a little bit here and there, but I definitely know, just basing off of the leadership over there, I would not be surprised if Predecessor comes to full release by the end of this year. I would not be surprised at all. because we know they got the quality, we know they got the content creation, we know they've been working hard as shit. Like, I don't know if you got to test some of those new items that they added in there and stuff like that in the last alpha or whatever. Like, we know they have a vision, they're sticking to it, and we know what they can do by just, you know, being quiet for 3 fucking months, right? So I'm very curious because they mentioned something big is coming here at the beginning of the new year, and I don't quote me. Don't quote me. This is gonna be a gamble. Mark my words. I think they're going to announce the release of their game within the next 365 days. I think so.
I don't know, man. Shit happens, so I'm not willing to say anything. After last year, and after like Ethereal got set back by fucking riots in Colombia, like they had all their shit in Colombia, and the fucking looters
wild.
destroyed a bunch of their shit. So like stuff happens.
Wild.
You never. You
I don't
can't
mean to
really
laugh on
predict
it.
it.
Yeah, but that's fucking wild. I mean, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Anything can happen. I mean, in the year of 2020 COVID season, like we were definitely like a prime example of all that shit, right? And I mean, but I don't know, man. Like I'm only going based off of what I've seen in the last year, right? If this same rate of production and development even stays consistent within the next year, I can easily see people playing a lot of these games for free. Like, actually,
I certainly hope so.
Like, I'm not like, I personally don't think they're gonna have all the characters ready. I personally don't think that it's going to be like a radical crazy redesign, even though a lot of them are hoping for certain things, you know what I mean? But I really do think that within the next year, we can easily see a lot out of them. Because I didn't say much of that in the past year because I was waiting. Like, you feel me? And that's why I did this video in the beginning of the year, coming out with a new map, coming out with new designs, new UI, etc. I'm like, I'm gonna make this video before all that because I want people to see the difference in about a year. And then I'm gonna, you know, make a new video whenever all that new stuff comes out and be like, hey, this is the progress that we've seen in the next year. So that way, you know, like, we can actually tell what a company's doing in a year's span. We can't judge their progress based off of a month, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, everybody go follow Mangoose. If you made it this far in the fucking video, just leave in the comment like, yo, Mangoose GG, bro.
Yeah, before you wrap up, I just want to say one thing.
Go.
One big improvement that I've seen from like 2 years, 1 year ago today. Your thumbnails, brother, they're on point. You've got your own style now. They're looking professional.
Hey, all right. So for those of you that don't know, I actually when I started YouTube, right? I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I literally DM'd Murdock and Mangoose. Those were the two, right? And I was like, hey man, I need help. So about YouTube, what do I do here? Or I'd be like, hey, I've been sending thumbnails to Mangoose for the past year. And I'd be like, hey, what do you think about this one? And he'd be low-key be like, yeah, that's not good. Let me make one for you. And he would, like, my original thumbnails were Mangoose thumbnails, low-key. And I'd be like, I low-key be like, hey man, could you make me a new thumbnail? I kind of need your help. I'm struggling. Bro, I put so much work in that shit, bro. Like
it pays off, I'm telling you.
Man, it really does. And after a while, you're totally, like, I used to look at you and be like, how the fuck do you make these thumbnails so fucking quick? Like, he'd be like, oh, just give me 5 minutes. Bomb ass thumbnail. I'm like, I spent 4 hours making this shit that you just turned down. What the fuck? But I'll tell you what, man, once you got that, like, that routine going, you know what to do. You legit, like, just, hey, 5 minutes, let me add a little bit of blur over here. Let me just add this little overlay out here. Bam! Oh, God.
Yeah, if any of you guys out there are looking into getting into YouTube, that's a huge thing that people overlook is thumbnails. You got to have a crisp, professional looking thumbnail or nobody, it doesn't matter how much time you put into that video. No, if nobody clicks on it to see it, then what the fuck do you do that video for?
That impression click rate, that shit's huge, bro. That shit's huge. When it comes to thumbnail and title, that's 99% of the reason you're gonna get a view. Whether they stay or not, that's up to you. But that shit goes ham, bro. But yeah, I appreciate you, homie. And again, like, that's why till this day, I support Mangoose. Go follow this man. He's a homie, because real shit, like, and like, a lot of people don't realize that getting into content creation is actually quite difficult. And a lot of people don't realize that there's very, very few people out there that are actually willing to help, willing to give feedback. Like what is it? Like, fuck, when did we meet? Like a year and a half, 2 years ago, I think?
Something like that.
Something like that.
It was the first Predecessor alpha, I believe.
Was that when I first met you? Okay. I was about to say, I knew of you, but I didn't necessarily, like, talk to you. I was like, man, Goose, what's up? And you know me, I'm always fucking talking. I can't fucking help it. So then eventually, well, here's the thing. Low key, and this is a little bit of advice for people out there. Like, one of my goals when I was becoming a content creator, I was like, hey, I want to become really good friends with top content creators. I want to learn from them. I want to adapt. I want them to share their experience with me so I can get better. I'm a huge believer in order to be successful, you have to have a good mentor. You want to be a great content creator, have a good mentor that you can follow in the footsteps, that can teach you, and eventually you'll set up your own thing. Because that's feedback that you both gave me. Eventually you will have your own theme, your own style. And you remember, like, for a while I was like, I don't even know what my style is, bro. Like, what do you mean? And then eventually you started kind of mixing it with like the whole galaxy theme, Star Wars, stuff that's more true to me, and it just kind of happened. So
yeah, they look good, man.
Appreciate you, bro. Everybody, okay, I'm not gonna be like that. I was about to be like, yo, if you want to be a content creator, DM Mangoose every single day.
People do it all the time, and I do respond. Go for it.
Same, bro, same. I low-key like it. I low-key like it because like I like to provide that feedback that was given to me as well. So yeah, follow this man on YouTube. His Twitch career is non-existent. I'm still working on that with him. Like, I'm still trying to get this man to be on Twitch. Like, he's like, no, that ain't my field. That's for you. I'm like, bro, it's so fucking easy, bro. Like, come on. But yeah, I'll make sure all his links are down below. You got anything you want to say before you say goodbye?
I think that's good. Thanks for having me, dude. I appreciate the invite. This kind of came out of nowhere, and I wasn't prepared for it, but I think we had a good time, had a good conversation. For sure. This literally came off of, yo, have you seen this last video? All right, bet. Watch it. I'm gonna record. I'm gonna talk to you about it right after. Go. That was it. Like, let me get my coffee. All right, bet. That was last minute, but yeah, I appreciate you being here, bro, and everybody that actually made it this far. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And as always, till the next video.